Welcome to Behind Two Wheels. Our main goal is where we actually take off our helmets and we show America the true faces behind motorcyclists. Today we have the honor of being joined by Miss Kim Kelley. Kim, thank you for taking the time to join us on Behind Two Wheels. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, and I am very honored to be a part of this.
Well, thank you so much. Today is going to be all about you, Miss Kim. So tell me, who is Kim Kelley? What would you want our audience to know about you?
Well, I am an avid motorcyclist. I have been riding for 34 years. Started
34?
out,
You look like you're about 30.
well, thank you. Good genes, I guess. I started out coming home from college, and my parents had bought my little brother a little Honda 80 for his paper route. I jumped on it and started taking it around the corner, and that was the beginning of this whole story. I
Wow.
went from that to a Kawasaki 1100. I rode for a while until I got pregnant with my daughter at 25, and I laid off until 2000 and I would say 2005. Started
Okay.
back with a sport bike, riding a Hayabusa, and then when they had the Atlanta Roundup, I got hooked on the Harley Davidson.
Fantastic. And you have a Harley currently.
Yes,
What kind?
second
Which
one.
one? Huh?
My second one, I started off with the Road King and totally took it apart, redid it, customized its wheel, its music,
Hmm.
and once that project was finished, I went to the Road Glide. So I now have a 2010 Road Glide, which is currently being redone for this summer.
That's kind of what we do, isn't it?
I know, right?
You said your parents bought your brother a motorcycle for a paper route. So tell me about your family.
I am the only girl of six brothers.
Oh, wow.
Uh, I was strong tomboy, but I do have my feminine qualities as well.
Fantastic.
I have four older brothers. I'm sorry, four older brothers, two younger brothers, and played sports all my life. I went through my life playing soccer. That was my sport, and got
Okay.
a scholarship for soccer.
Fantastic.
And try to stay active. I am in the law enforcement field at this time, well, for the last 15 years, and so riding motorcycles is kind of like my muse
Right.
to get away from all the stress of the job.
You said you are in law enforcement. What do you do?
I am a federal investigator, and I work in the area of national security. I
Of
tell you,
who
when you
again?
have to kill your girl.
You work in which area, you said? National security?
National security, yes.
Okay, yeah, you can't tell us anymore.
No.
What about your children?
I have one daughter, an adult daughter. She's 25, and I have a 6-year-old grandson who is my little road dog.
Oh, trust me, I have a 6-year-old granddaughter plus a few more, but when I tell you, I think God's greatest gift to us as parents is the grandchildren. We love
Oh,
our kids, but it is just something different about the grandbabies. I can't even explain
yeah,
it. You have to be a grandmother to understand.
absolutely.
Well, Kim, tell me, what is your religious background?
Well, I was initially baptized Catholic. My mother is a staunch Catholic. She was born and raised in a Catholic church in Louisiana. And when I was about 8 years old, my mom remarried a Baptist minister.
Oh,
So,
wow.
of course, we had to go through the baptism of becoming a Baptist. But I still more so identify with Catholic since um, that's my mother's she went back to being a Catholic. So we kind of that's how we all grew up. All my
Right.
brothers went to Catholic school. Um, so that is, but I don't. I mean, I embrace all religion.
Right.
I respect it all.
Do you have anything that you practice on a regular basis now or no?
Uh, you know, coming here to Atlanta, it's been a different experience for me.
I can
Um,
imagine.
the churches are a lot different from how I grew up in the church, and especially having living in a household where we went to Baptist church. It was just a lot
Right.
different. It wasn't. It was more about teaching the
Hmm.
word, and it's just here, even with my friends that I have in the churches that they go to, it's not about that anymore. It's about building a bigger church and making, giving the church more
Yeah.
of your tidings, and I just kind of, I don't know, I have a different feeling about it, and so I have not been able to find a church here.
Oh, well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. In the motorcycle community, we all have writing names. What's yours?
Well, I used to, when I was riding sport bikes, I was actually we started a club, and my name was Special K, since it's Kim Kelley, the two Ks. I went with Special K. But now, I don't have a riding name. I don't ride with any clubs. I ride with friends.
Right.
Um, I have a group of very, very close friends. One of the gentlemen, he owns a motorcycle shop that does customizing. So um, we just kind of hang out. Nobody has any call names or anything.
Right. Okay. No, I understand that. Have you had the opportunity as a motorcyclist that you have participated in any major charity events or anything that you want to share with us?
Well, with the when I initially started back as a sport bike, with our sport bike club, we put on a lot of events down in South Georgia.
Hmm.
We mainly put on for the needy with food drives. We went into the housing projects and put on play days for the little kids there
Oh,
with
wow.
jumpers and food, donating cooking meals and donating the food and things like that. And since I've been here in Atlanta with the group that I hang out with now, we put on rides for cancer patients, especially the young kids.
Oh,
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, so I try to support as much as I can when I have the time because I travel a lot with my job.
Okay. What are some of your hobbies you have that outside of motorcycle riding now?
Well, I love sports,
Okay.
so I try to play softball. As a matter of fact, I'll be playing in a kickball tournament this weekend.
Oh, I
So,
tried that, Kim. I tried it last year.
and
Well, see, what had happened was I had a motorcycle accident years ago, so I broke my hip and then I broke the other one on a jet ski accident. So you can tell I'm probably a little adventurous, but it's been a while, and I thought I was okay, and I went to kickball practice, and the day we practiced kicking, I was limping for about a week, and my husband was like, yeah, you're not going back. So,
well,
yeah.
since my background is in soccer, it kind of comes a little easier.
Of course, I know. I mean, kickball is a major thing now. There's a lot of women teams, so it's good to see older women being active in that area. So that's really, really good. I wish I could have played, but yeah, that didn't work out too well. So tell me, have you done any traveling? I know, especially being on a Harley or on a cruiser in general, we tend to do some distance traveling. What's the longest you've traveled, if any at all?
Well, I am not ashamed to say that I am not a long distance rider.
Okay.
Only because I just get bored. Even though I've got my music blasting, I just get bored riding long distance.
Hmm.
You can't really talk. If you're talking, you're yelling and screaming, and I don't. In the summertime, I hate being sweaty when I get somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and plus, all the money that I put into my paint and everything,
Yeah.
I have a trailer. So my baby goes on the trailer.
Okay.
But I would say the furthest would be from probably Panama City Beach to Apalachicola, which is like 2 hours.
Okay.
That's mine.
Okay.
That's about my range.
That's okay. I mean, everybody is the road is not meant for everybody, so it's more than okay. Finish this sentence for me, Kim. Motorcycle riding to me is.
Is my way of getting away from everything.
Okay. It's amazing how many times we ask that question to our guests, and everybody's answer is kind of always along the same line. So that's really good. I think that's just lets people know we're not crazy. It actually does help. Keeps us out of the therapist's office, is what I say.
Absolutely.
What are some of the things, myths that you've heard about motorcyclists that really just bother you that you know not to be true being a motorcyclist?
That they're like thugs. Um, and of course, females, we don't get that characterization.
We get a
Um,
different characterization. We absolutely do. Yeah.
but I've met some guys that are, millionaires that ride bikes,
Hmm.
and then, even the ones that are not wealthy people, they're still
Right.
good people. So I think we are mischaracterized as motorcyclists, um, and we get a bad rap for wearing the vest and
Hmm.
the boots and all the stuff on your vest and all that. I just think the bad rap comes from a lot of the apparel.
Right. Okay.
Because you don't see motorcyclists on the news, unless, of course, it's an accident. But you're not
Well,
seeing, those are not the ones you're seeing on the news being arrested and handcuffed and things like that.
our news is about the bad things, not the good things. So that's kind of the whole concept of behind two wheels. I think we need to show America that we are not sons of anarchy. We are not thugs. The women that ride, we are actually riders. We're not all backseaters, which there's nothing wrong with that. Um, so typically for women, I think one of the characterizations I hear about us is that we're kind of groupies. But no, a lot of us ride and we're professionals. We're mothers, we're grandmothers. So I think people need to see that. And in the end, the goal is to promote motorcycle safety. They will see us as normal people, not what they see on the
Right.
news.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
What was your family's reaction when you started riding?
Well, you know what? My parents, I've always been into cars. So with being the only girl and having my brothers to be around, there was no shock
Right.
value at all. I mean, even now my aunts and uncles outside of my immediate family,
Yeah.
they are like, "Oh God, be careful," But my mom, she doesn't. She's never said anything to me at all.
What about
We
friends or coworkers when they see you in business and what you do, and then they find out you ride? What do you get? What's their reaction?
Oh, I get the same reaction all the time. You ride motorcycles, and then they are even more taken aback when they see pictures of my motorcycle because it's
Oh,
such a
yeah.
big bike
Yeah.
and how much customization that I've done to it. So yeah, they especially a lot of women too. They how do you hold that big bike up? And yeah, it's heavy, but it's balanced. So yeah, you do get the sticker with people that you meet for the first time that find out that you ride.
Yeah. Good. One last question. What would you leave our audience with? What would your advice be to help promote motorcycle safety for us?
Well, for anyone that's first learning to ride, I definitely will always tell you, please take classes. I did not take classes. I've been riding for 34 years, but I'm always learning new things, especially as being a defensive driver. But those are the things that are taught to you initially. I have been very blessed. I've never laid a bike down. I've never been close to laying a bike down, so I feel very blessed in that manner. But the main
Absolutely.
thing is please take a class and learn about the bike, about defensive driving, because I think that those classes do save lives.
I totally
Um,
agree with that.
and don't bite off more than you can chew as far as the size of your bike. especially for sport bike riders, because for me, I went from a Honda 80 to a 1100, and I about threw myself off that bike the first time I rolled the throttle.
Right.
So, but I adjusted quickly. But I would just say, don't let someone influence you. Ride what's comfortable for you.
Right. Well, I won't even tell you my first bike was a Hayabusa, but you know, I'm not a small girl, so you know, and I think like you said, it's don't bite off more than you can chew, but no two bikes ride the same. So whatever you get, you just definitely have to learn how to ride it and what it does, how it operates in emergency situations, the sweet
Absolutely.
spot on the throttle, all of those things, and no two bikes are the same, even if it's two of the same makes and model. So,
Right.
what would you tell car drivers, as we would call them, cagers? What advice would you give them to promote safety for motorcyclists?
Stop trying to prevent a motorcyclist from passing you. I'm not big on that as far as a motorcycle rider, but I'm on the road.
Mm-hmm.
75% of my job is I'm on the road, and I see so many times that a a cager will try to prevent a
Mm-hmm.
motorcyclist from passing it
Mm-hmm.
purposely,
Right.
and that's going to hurt someone.
Yeah.
Um, on the other hand, I can here in Atlanta, Highway the I-20. Those riders out there ride very dangerously, and I do not enjoy riding on that side of Atlanta. I've been on a bike, and a guy passed me at 100 miles an hour in my lane, and I did not even see him. And it made me so nervous I was shaking
Mm-hmm.
when he flew by me. But for I think we should both just be respectful of each other.
I agree with that, and I appreciate that advice. That's definitely a good point. A lot of times when we ask our audience that, everybody has a um, different input on the motorcycle safety. So that's definitely a new one and an absolutely viable one. So I appreciate you sharing that with us, and I appreciate you taking the time to let our audience get to know Miss Kim Kelley, or Special K, shall I say?
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure
Uh,
being on your show.
Thank you, Miss Kim.
All right, you have a blessed evening.